What is up, Solow Sportsers? I am just above our Flushing, Queens location, located inside the Indoor Tennis Center at the US Open, to feature a review of the new Babolat Pure Drives for 2025. In my hand, I've got the 98. Stick around, figure out what they've changed about it, if it's the right racket for you, and what other awesome thoughts we have about it. For this playtest, we decided to string the racket up with Babolat RPM Rough in the red in 17 gauge. First, on a cosmetic level, I think it looks great because it pulls out the red accents from the grommets up at the top. You can see them protruding here as well, and even some of the red accents in the verbiage coming out of Drive and 98 and all these other places. So not just from a performance perspective, we think it matches nicely, but for me, of course, on the cosmetic level, it also is absolutely a great choice.
The Babolat Pure Drive 98 2025 Gen 11 is 305 grams, which equates to 10.8 ounces unstrung, with a swing weight of 323, making it 3 points head light with a balance point of 13.2 inches. As the name suggests, it has a 98 square inch head, a standard 27 inch length, a semi-open 16 by 20 string pattern, and a beam that goes from 21 to 23 back down to 21 millimeters. The stock grip is the Syntec Pro and has a lighter blue cosmetic with navy and red accents, which keeps the Pure Drive story alive through the generations, but adds nice modern touches. The 98 is the heaviest of the Pure Drive line and is the only one with a sub 100 square inch head size, a 1620 pattern, and offers the ability to purchase as a matched pair.
From the baseline, it took me a moment to warm up to this racket. First of all, the weight's a little more than I'm used to, but that's totally fine. After a few swings, I kind of started to dial it in. What caught me off guard a bit was the fact that it is a power racket, so I was getting very easy and great depth. But that 16 by 20 string pattern, that extra string, providing that little bit more control. So I felt like I really had to brush and brush and brush to get that margin that I needed. But otherwise, from the baseline, it was a very smooth, comfortable racket. Normally I'm used to Pure Drives being very jarring on the arm. This one was not at all. It was very plush, especially in that sweet spot. When I caught the racket out in front, the power that came out of this was just exceptional. Now, where I felt this racket really shine for me was on serve, because it's a shot I fully have control over. I put it where I want. I'm not defending, I'm not attacking, I can do whatever I want. Especially with big flat serves up the tee in the deuce court, or even the sliders out wide in the deuce court. I felt like I could really put the serve on a dime with this racket and get a really easy jump on the point, which maybe means I don't have to worry about playing defense with a racket like this, because as long as I can get that big first ball in, I can really start to dictate play. I can push my opponents deep. So yeah, super fun to serve with, because then it meant I got to start the point early, which means on the return, if I got a good contact on the ball and really started on the front foot of the point, I was unstoppable. Up at net, this racket was okay. It wasn't a dream come true, but it was definitely solid. I appreciated with that 98 square inch head size that it was very manageable, very stable. Unlike the standard Pure Drive, which I felt didn't quite have the stability that I wanted. This one definitely did. But I felt that I didn't quite have the touch that I wanted. I was able to drive volleys and push deep and block and do all the sort of things when you feel like you're under pressure and you just want to keep your opponents back. But whenever I wanted to do some of the touch stuff, the sharp angles, the things that require maybe a little more finesse, I wasn't quite getting that out of this. But for someone who maybe likes what I call crush and rush, I think this is a great choice. Someone who takes a nice big forehand cut, just wants to do that put away volley, I think it's great. When you're getting into some longer protracted battles, maybe some doubles points, this might not be my first choice, but definitely solid, but again, not the first choice.
This racket scored highly in our Solow Sports review. As a domineering, powerful frame, this racket is catered towards players who have a more modern, aggressive game style and linear strokes. The ideal player for this racket has an NTRP rating of 4.0 or higher, can generate their own pace, but prefers to have the racket help out a bit. While this racket is suited for players who spend most of their time at the baseline, it will reward players who make occasional forays to the net. Similar rackets from other brands include the Head Boom Pro, the Yonex E-Zone 98, the Dunlop FX 500 Tour, and the Wilson Shift 99, and the Technifiber TF X1 305. I highly recommend you give this racket a try for that unique mix of power and control.
Well, that's been our review of the Babolat Pure Drive 98 2025 Gen 11. Make sure you subscribe so that you always know when our videos are launching. We always get the rackets first and get these videos out early for you. So we look forward to seeing you in the next video.